Hi, listeners. This is Katie. Just Katie. Just Katie right now. Bridget's in this episode. Don't panic. We have an important announcement that we will be including in all of our episodes for the month of February. And it's a bittersweet announcement. After 5 years, 270 plus episodes and interviews and guest stars and just so many freaking movies, Bridget and I have decided that this month will be our final month of this podcast. We're announcing it now, so there will be episodes released every week in February. And then our last week in February, we will be having just a little finale episode, which won't be a movie review, but it will just be a little cathartic closing it out. And I anticipate us drinking during that. So we just wanted to make that known, but we want to thank you guys for all your support. There's been so much support, so much love for this. We have had such a good time, but we've gotten older. Life is different. So it is time, as they say in The Lion King episode, whatever, we did that. All right. So all of our episodes are going to remain up after we stop releasing new ones. So please continue to listen. If it brings you joy, please continue to share, to like, review, to watch the movies we recommend or don't recommend. Yeah, and be on the lookout for our last episode. Love you guys. Enjoy.
Sisters, sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters, sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello there.
Welcome back, listeners. We got a very special episode today.
We're so professional.
We are. Shut up.
Oh, sorry.
We have a very special guest. We hyped him up our last episode. He taught me how to screenwrite and also screenwrote and directed and I think produced and I think did 8,000 other things for a really awesome movie we're discussing today. This is Chris Messineo.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here and be part of your podcast and talk about the movie. This is awesome.
This is so cool of you to be here.
This
because,
is.
like, we don't get to talk to people who make the movies.
No.
And, you know, I have lots of questions. I'm like so excited.
I'm happy to spill the tea. So whatever questions you got.
There will be tea. We're going to put you in the hot seat. Yeah, I'm excited. But listeners, before we jump into that, I'm going to introduce ourselves so you know who we are. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And I'm Chris.
Hey!
Not a sister.
You're an honorary sister.
You're
Yeah,
a sissy.
you are.
We love you.
And Chris, what is the movie that you wrote and directed and produced and did 8,000 other things for that we're discussing today?
It's The Strange Dark. It's do you want a quick recap of the film or just wanted the title?
I want to know everything, but do a quick recap because we do a little
recap.
like, you know, we call it a synopsis and it's funny. I don't know if that's like the right word because sometimes it turns into me just, you know, telling the entire movie and that's wrong. But yeah, if you want to give us a summary of what it's about.
So it's a sci-fi thriller, definitely inspired by The Twilight Zone, which was my favorite TV show when I was a kid. And it tells the story of Susan. She's a high school drama teacher. And she's currently separated from her husband, Edgar. And he shows up at her house unexpectedly and tells her that what he has told her he's been doing for a living, he doesn't. And she's in danger and they need to leave right now. And shortly thereafter, some strangers show up at the house looking for Edgar. And a whole twisted night unfolds where Susan, for the longest time, isn't sure what's true and what's not, and she has to decide what to do to save her family, which includes her teenage daughter. And there's I don't know, if I tell any more, I'm giving stuff away, but yeah, it's a twisty sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
It's a fun roller coaster ride.
Okay, I'm going to read your cool Amazon Prime.
Oh, Bridget loves
because I love to read
She
it.
loves the one sentences. Yeah,
Cool.
let's hear it.
When two strangers confront Susan about her estranged husband Edgar, she discovers he may have uncovered a cosmic code predicting the future. As violence closes in, Susan must decide whether Edgar is delusional or the only one who can save them from the ruthless forces hunting him. By far one of the best ones we've done.
Oh, nice.
You know
Excellent.
how bad those are? So every movie, especially the nostalgic ones we do, are like one sentence. It's absolutely an AI bot writing it. And it's always the weirdest adjectives.
Yeah.
And then it'll like put the famous person in it.
Or it doesn't tell you like the actual context of the movie, and it tells you like the first scene, and you're like, what about all that other stuff? Like, that wasn't a good summary.
Seriously,
Yeah.
top tier.
I have a question.
It's a nightmare to write those.
It's
okay, this
really
is my
good.
question. Did you write these? Like, is that part of your
Yes.
responsibility? Oh my
I
god.
do it.
is,
I
yeah.
can tell.
When
I
you're
can tell.
When you're an indie film director, you wear, as you mentioned, a lot of hats. So everything from, paying everyone to writing logline descriptions.
Logline.
You have to write 50-word versions and 100-word versions and 250-word versions.
Wow.
And yeah, it's not fun. It's not something you think about when you're like, I'm going to make a movie, and then someday I'll get to write a log line for it. Yeah, but you have to do it.
That is so cool.
Listeners, I did take a screenwriting class with Chris and learned so many important things. And I remember you talking about the log lines, and I feel like you talked about it. It might have even been like one of the last classes, and you were talking about that whole idea of like pitching a movie too, or like a script.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that just was never something I thought was part of writing a screenplay. Like I didn't think of that piece of it, but like you said, it's like
Sure.
there are a lot of pieces that are entailed with making a movie.
Yeah, and back then when you were taking the class, I think I had finished the second draft of the script, and I knew we were going to be doing it. We ended up filming the fifth draft of the script. So you were there sort of like early in that process, like at that point. But yeah, and back then I had a different log line that was way worse. It took longer to write the log line than it took to write the screenplay.
Yeah, you, one of the end classes too, you did have us read the first couple pages together. So where it's the two agents who come to the door and kind of their dialogue, you had us read that. And I always remembered that because I don't know if you know this, but you had a premiere, like, and this felt like it was 2 years ago, I want to say.
It's a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It was so long. It felt so long ago. And I went to that. So I got to see this like right when you showed it to people. And that was awesome. And I was telling Bridget, like a lot of the actors were at the premiere, and that was cool because they did a Q&A at the end, and then you had one as well. It was,
we had over 300 people there. 6 of the 7 actors were there. I was mostly trying not to throw up because, like, we had finished the film, a week and a half before that, and so now it's suddenly being shown to a lot of people that I know and care about, and but it was a great night. It went really well. And then after that, it was a year of film festivals all around the world.
So
and,
amazing.
Okay. I want to brag about you.
Yeah.
So, so this is on Prime Video, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. Is there anywhere else, or is that it?
As of a few days ago, it just started streaming on a channel called Fawsome TV, which is awesome with the word F with the letter F in front.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
And that's free, but there's ads in the middle of it. So if you like watching movies where ads pop up in the middle, you can watch it there.
No. Go get the paid stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Come on. 27 film festivals, 34 nominations, 13 wins, Best Feature, Best Thriller, Best Director, boom,
Woo!
Best Screenplay, boom, Best Ensemble, Best Actor, 5 audience awards for Best Feature. Okay, this is the coolest thing ever. You just bounce around to all these, like, cities, and, like, what? This is so cool!
You know what's really cool is
That's so cool.
I'm not a big traveler, and so I got to go to places that I would never go to otherwise. So I was in Fargo, North Dakota. I was in El Paso, Texas.
Wow.
We were in London twice. It played in Australia. I didn't go to Australia. It was just too far. I know that was a shame. I would have loved to have gone there. I was in Julian, Dubuque, Iowa. So it's like I got to see parts of the country that I wouldn't normally get to see. And then you get to, see people from those parts of the country, like enjoying your movie. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's great.
So cool. How do you even get into those? What do you do? Do you apply to each one, or is there like an aggregator you apply to?
Believe it or not, there's over 10,000 film festivals in the world, and there's sort of tiers. Like obviously there's things like Sundance, which is at the top, and the Cannes Film Festival in France. And so we didn't get to any of the big ones. But then there's like second tier ones that still like fly you in and put you up in a hotel. And so we played a lot of those. Ooh. And so we submitted. And so we submitted to approximately, I want to say like 90 film festivals and got into 27.
Wow.
Which is a pretty good hit rate for a film.
Yeah.
So, and then I think of the 27, myself or a cast or crew member was present at 25 of the film festivals. So it's just, at some point you start running out of money to get to some of them, or you just don't have the time because you can't leave, your work or whatever. But getting to go there and see your film with a live audience in a theater is really very, very cool.
Yeah. It's the coolest thing. That's
so
some
cool.
Sweat equity work. Damn.
Yeah. That's a good phrase for it.
Yeah.
I think important thing to note too is you mentioned this, like this was considered an indie film, right? Very much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you had a GoFundMe. Was that what you had?
So we use Seed and Spark, but it's crowdfunding.
Okay. Crowdfunding, right.
And one of the things I'm proudest of is we wanted to raise $75,000. We raised $84,000, but 90% of our donations came from my former students who just really wanted to see their teacher go off and make his own film. Like I've been teaching for 20 years and I have like 100 students off in Hollywood who are working. And so
we're just getting emotional. Sorry.
It was really great. So like when we played in LA, half the theater was packed with my students who are now working in LA.
So
and
cool.
Then the day after my film played there, we went to, Liz and I, my wife, went to the Sony lot because one of my students works on the Sony lot, and she was giving us like the tour of the Sony lot, like as an employee there. We're eating in the executive dining room with my student who I taught from 10 to 17, and now she's 27. So yeah, it was pretty special.
It speaks to your impact, for
all teachers,
right? Like I'm in education too, and it's sometimes you don't always recognize the impact you might have had on people, but something like that's cool to see. It gives you a quantity almost of it.
Wait, can you make a movie about that?
Because
my heartstrings.
About making the movie.
Yeah.
No, about the teacher wanting to make the movie. The students band together to support it, and then you get to do the movie. That's the sweetest thing. Magical.
You refer to it as my Mr. Holland's Opus moment. If you've seen that movie, with Richard Dreyfuss, where his students play his music at the end. Yeah.
Oh, that's a tearjerker. God, we never did that.
It is. Yeah.
We didn't do that one, but we did just do a movie with Richard Dreyfuss. So. Does that count?
Wow. Okay. So many questions. You go, Katie.
One thing I do want to say though that I hella appreciate is you have credits in the beginning, some credits, just kind of introducing people involved with the movie. And one that stood out to me that I was like, yes! And I didn't notice the first time I watched it was you had a composer. You had someone that composed this music for you. I love that.
Yeah, and about 90% of the movie has music underneath it. And the fun story about that is I started making films a long time ago, and over 25 years ago. And when I did, I was looking for a composer, and I found one on the internet in this kind of filmmaker chat group. And he was really talented. He was from New Zealand, and he was crazy good.
Is it Hans Zimmer? No, sorry.
I didn't realize he was 17 at the time, and just so talented.
Wow.
And so we worked on a bunch of short films together. And then about 10 years ago, he said to me, I want to come to the United States to pursue my career. I need a reference letter. Would you be willing to write one for me? So I wrote it for him. He comes here. He's in California. He hits it big, and he's now famous for doing trailer music. So he did the trailer music for the Barbie movie, for Star Wars, for John Wick.
Dang.
for like these huge films. And so when I was doing my film, I hadn't worked with them for the previous like 10 years. And I was like, I know you've gotten really popular. Would you still want to do would you want to work on my first feature? And he said, of course, he would love to. So Chris and I have known each other for a very long time, and it was wonderful to get to work with him. He was amazing.
I love that. I mean, just because,
Awesome.
movies can go in so many different directions with music, but I just always appreciate some original music and, the artistry put into it. So, and I felt like it fit really nicely in this movie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, some of these, like, okay, and so we do nostalgic movies, so we're not, like, ever referencing now movies, but the nostalgic movies, like, when the music takes you out of the film, and you're just like, what? No, like, it's like, boing, 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 or like something like weird. Because there are weird shit like that. Like,
there are. A lot of the 90s.
There are, sure.
90s
And I totally agree with you. I loved the beginning when you don't have any dialogue. I was like, wow, vibes. And the end I loved. Mm-hmm. But I never was like distracted by it.
Yeah. Right.
And that's like such a thing you don't realize until it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, right. Good music is something that you probably should not be drawing attention to itself, but it should be very evocative and creating a feeling. And, as I mentioned earlier with the Twilight Zone, we were very inspired by 70s and 80s movies, such as the era that I grew up in. So even with my cinematographer, we were looking at all these Spielberg movies, and we're looking at the music from those movies. And obviously, like, John Williams is a massive influence.
We love him.
Yeah. So you're just trying to channel as much of that as you can.
Well, it's the coolest thing.
And one of the first things you taught us in our class is the importance of kind of setting the tone. And I do feel that happens pretty fucking quickly because we get our two of our main characters, because this is a small cast. And so we have Maria and Frank. And they are agents. And when the movie starts, you don't really know what's happening. They're just kind of arriving at a home, and they're kind of having some funny interactions with each other. You're like, oh, Maria's in charge, and I'm afraid. And Frank's just there, and I don't know what's going on. And Bridget, we talked about this off air, but Bridget goes, that Maria's scary. I was like, I agree.
She was so good.
She's scary.
I was like, I could watch a whole series on Maria.
Yeah.
I could watch a whole plot line, Breaking Bad style.
I was going to say, Maria. Like an anti-hero show about her. Oh my God.
It was a hard part to cast because I always pictured a sort of diminutive Latina actress in this part, but you need her presence to fill the room. You need to believe that she is in charge and that this, 6'2" cohort of hers is 100% listening to her and they're focused together. We used to describe them as siblings, as a brother and sister who simultaneously love and hate each other.
Well, that's funny because if we tried to boss our brother around like that, he would have like farted on us or something ridiculous. So
farted that space gun right away, right in the face.
The space gun would have got us.
Wait, but like the one question I had right before this is the choice on the parts. You're like,
so like divvying it up by like sections. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, why do that? Why don't do that? Like, because Katie knows this. I get distracted
Bridget,
very easily.
that was
so I was like,
one of my first thoughts was like, Bridget's gonna appreciate the times listed.
I was like, yes,
progression.
I'm focused.
She's gonna need
go
this
off
to understand what's happening.
So, I mean, I love nonlinear storytelling. I love stories that play with time.
I do too.
But I don't like being confused.
Yeah.
So it was important to me that not only would we not tell the story in order, it's more fun to be surprised by what's happened in the past. But I wanted to make sure that we overlapped each element, so you always had this kind of like puzzle pieces that connected.
Yeah.
You had this moment at the end of part one that would connect with the with the end of part two, so you'd realize, oh, this is how they fit together in order.
You know what it made me think of too, and I didn't think of this the first watch, but the second watch, it made me it felt like it connected to what we later then find out is that he's able to see into the future. So really the film is kind of showing us the future in a lot of ways. And then we go back and kind of see like, how did we get there? And like the journey of getting to that point, and it's cool.
Yeah, you're in Edgar's mind a little bit, where it's like the sense that time isn't always linear, and so he's seeing moments out of order, and in the end, it all comes together. Cool. I'm so glad you picked up on that.
This definitely was a movie that I feel like you have to watch more than once, because the second time around, I was like, oh my gosh, like I remembered certain things, and then I would like pick up on them, and I didn't, not that I didn't get that the first watch, but like it was, you like find new things on the next watch, and it was intentional things, of course, that you did. So it was really like, it was
there's
a
little
nice
hidden
experience.
Easter eggs, like in part 3, there's a moment where you can see Taylor hiding at the top of the stairs.
Yes.
But you see like a out of focus body move at the top of the stairs that the first time you watch the film, you don't notice it. But the second time, if you're looking for it, you're like, oh, she's there watching all of this unfold.
Right.
But
you don't know that the first time. It's little things like that that we
it made
stuck
me
in.
like eager too. I was like, all right, well, when's this freaking daughter coming? Because I was like, we know the daughter is in the vision,
about her. Yeah.
and it was Freedom, right? He thought that she was going to say Freedom, but then it was like Frodo or something.
Fredo
is Frodo. Yep.
Fredo turns into Frodo. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that about it. I was like, oh, like it made me feel like watching kind of episodes, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, so like what's gonna like now what?
Yeah,
I don't know. Very cool.
Yeah, I like when the pieces fall together. I mean, one of my references for the going out of order with time was the third Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, time turner stuff.
And there's a moment with the time turner, and Hermione, like at one point Hermione gets hit in the back of her head with a stone, and you have no idea why. But then when it jumps back in time, you realize that she threw the stone that hit herself in the head. And as an audience, when you put those pieces together, it makes you feel kind of like smart. Like, oh, I get what's happening now. And it's like, so you're trying to create those moments.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like just so much like thought put into it. That was like so well done.
Thanks.
Agreed.
So we have scary people, and I'm afraid. And if these people came to my door, I personally wouldn't answer. But, you know, Susan's nice. And she, you know, her husband also kind of was like, well, we gotta deal with this now. So
yeah, I used to have people when they would first watch it, like at the beginning, they'd go, why the hell is she letting them in? But then when you get to part 2, you realize that she has been kind of set up for this a bit. So now she's already off kilter enough that I think she would let them in. But yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, just again, seeing like the two, like the Maria and Frank interactions, and seeing kind of like Susan, and you're like, oh, poor Susan. Like, she's so in the dark and she doesn't know what's going on. And then you later find out she's like, I know what's happening. And I'm actually probably the smartest one here. And I love Susan. I think like when we get the reveal in the end, I'm jumping well ahead.
You can jump around.
When she reveals she is not blind. And that was like another moment that on the rewatch, because the first time around I was like, oh shit, she is blind, and she didn't have a choice in being blind because of the stupid gun, and that sucks. But she wasn't blind, right? She knew that she had to pretend to be blind because he said she had to be blind, and she trusted him at that point, and that's when she was like, now I'm acting forever.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
It was very important to me that I didn't want Edgar to be the person who saves the day. Yeah. That I like the idea that Susan would save her family.
Women fixing shit, you know?
Yeah, and I like the idea that when you watch the film a second time, what you realize is the entire second half of the film, Susan is plotting.
Right.
And she's just waiting for her moment, you know, that she realizes that Edgar's telling the truth. And if Edgar's telling the truth, then these things must come to pass. Well, what can I do to make them come to pass in a way that works for me?
Yeah.
So in the writing process, when I realized like she could pretend to be blind, like that was just like, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and the one thing, my husband always says this, like, movies that you love is usually because you like the characters. If you, like, hate the character, and I don't mean, like, villain, I mean, like, you're like, ugh.
Like they're annoying,
you know,
or like,
they're done.
Yeah,
Why would you do this one?
Right.
I liked with her, she was like, I'm not a great actor.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I did it. I did it.
I remember I
was
that
like,
blind
yes,
moment.
Susan.
Yeah. Good
Because
job.
it wasn't, no, and what I really liked is it wasn't about like, no, I love you. And, you know, even though it implied like, okay, maybe we won't get divorced, but it wasn't like, it was my love for you that changed my passion. You know, it was like her own personal, like, you know, triumph over acting. That was what I took away from it. I was like, yeah, you can act.
She won the Oscar in her heart. Yeah, for sure. I think we should also talk through for Edgar kind of this, you know, this is really like a big plot point in the movie, is he is the dad. He's a little estranged once we kind of get more information on him. And the wife, you know, Susan says like, yeah, we're like, you know, gonna get divorced. And he's like, nah, I don't really know. I don't know what his deal is. And she, you know, is like, yeah, he's an accountant. And we as the audience are at first led to believe that's what he does. But when we meet him later, he's like, it's all a lie. Sorry. So sorry. I know the check said accounting, but that's not it at all. And he was a cryptologist, which made me think of the Da Vinci Code. So
I've never heard that word in my life. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. Have you? Do people know that word?
I just think of the Da Vinci Code. I feel like that's what Tom Hanks was doing. He was like
doing all those things.
Just solving. But this is where I thought of our sister Mary, because I'm like, if there's any person in our goddamn family who would end up being a cryptologist, breaking the code about the radio waves from the stars, it would be our sister Mary, because she studies space and I don't even understand it, and she might be doing this now for all we know. She might be able to see the future.
Very cool.
She codes like space visualization.
Yes.
So she so she maybe is a cryptologist.
I was gonna say, she might already like have figured all this out, but
I loved it. I was like, holy cow, there's a third star. He's cracking the code.
Red dwarf.
Also, I would be kind of pissed if I was Susan. Like, are you kidding me? You know? Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I always wonder that. Like, the whole, like, your spouse is a CIA agent.
You're wondering about what your husband's job is now?
No, I love him, but he'd be bad.
He's not a cryptologist. You don't know that. You don't know that.
He'd be a shitty CIA agent.
Maybe he's good at pretending.
Yeah, he could be. He could be an actor like Susan.
He's really good.
Right. You don't know. So one of the things that I'm curious about, because this is very much, as you mentioned, obviously in the realm of, in the category of sci-fi. My question, and not to be a leading question, but I'm curious, if you were in a position where you had like an unlimited budget, is there anything you would have done a little differently in the sci-fi aspect for this movie?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. This is the 13th feature that I wrote, and when I started writing it, I didn't start it thinking this is going to be the first one I film. It was just, this is the next story that I'm going to write. And as it started to unwind, I realized, oh my gosh, I think this all takes place in this one house in this one night. And that got really exciting because that's, if you're a filmmaker, that's sort of a dream. A one location shoot is something that you can do with a small budget. So there really wasn't any I didn't have visions of there's a big car chase or a spaceship shows up. There's never anything like that. If we had more money, we would have taken more time to shoot it, and the food would have been better, and the accommodations would have been nicer. But no, I mean, there was never. I can honestly say that the film that we shot is 97% of what I imagined when I wrote it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that's pretty awesome. If I ever got a chance to do the sequel to it, then I would need a lot more money because I imagine bigger things.
Sure,
But as far as this film, it's what I imagined, and there didn't need any more money for it.
You did leave the door open at the end for some sequel baiting.
There is a little door there.
Yeah, you can totally do that. When I first saw this at the premiere you had, one of my first takeaways was because it's in one house and it's a smaller cast, I was like, this could easily also become a stage play, easily. And I know that's not how, obviously it's a movie and it's a different medium, but I was like, oh no, this could be adapted to be something like that.
Sure,
you know?
that would be fun.
Yeah.
My background is in theater, so I would love to see that someday.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because
Wait, I have a really... Oh, keep going.
No, you go, Bridge.
I have a really dumb question. If I didn't want to stop your very intellectual question.
Let's hear it. No dumb questions here, Bridge.
So in the room, how he tells the stories, like, when Taylor was little, I made a room look like stars, and, I was like, wait, did you guys, like, do each little star, like, on the ceiling for that? Or is that, like, fancy... lights and
in that one scene.
That is one of our fancy digital effects.
Because I was like, this is the. Do you remember old school? Like,
but it looked like we painted stars on the ceiling, right? Good. Excellent. That's what I want to hear.
Like, this was a trend. You would take those like glow in the dark
I had
stars that were like
I had those
this
in my room.
big, and they were.
My daughter had those. Yeah,
and like they're very cheesy, And so when he's like, "Yeah, we took Taylor's room and I made a replica," and in my brain I was like, oh yeah, like big fat stars, and I was like, wow, that's like an actual replica, and I thought I need to do that. I don't know, it inspired me, like I should do that.
You should. You're actually like a really good artist, Bridge, so I feel like you can do that really well.
So yeah, it's all those I can't imagine like the house you picked. How much extra stuff did you have to do?
I love that house. I want to Airbnb there really badly, but
So we looked at 30 homes roughly to find the right house, find a house that we could afford that had the requirements. So for example, you need a kitchen that's far enough away from the living room that you could believe separate conversations are happening. You need a stairwell that you could spy from on the living room. You need a upstairs window that's above a living room window that feet can dangle in front of. You need all of these sort of elements in a house so that and a lot of homes nowadays are open floor plans.
That was
that doesn't work for us.
One of my thoughts. I was like, wow, this plot couldn't happen in our parents' house because everyone's in the same room all the time. So it wouldn't work.
And so we found this home and it was really interesting looking, but then we took all of the furniture out of it and brought in all of our furniture and redressed every single room in the house for the look and the color scheme that we wanted. It took 2 days to get all the furniture out of the house and another 2 days to get it all back in, and then had to do the same thing at the end when we were done shooting.
So people,
but it was worth it.
Did you do like dark furniture? Like what was the?
Bridget wants to know the interior design.
yeah. So
that and outfits I usually love to talk about.
Even in the screenplay, it says that the room is lit with warm lamplight. Which is what I wanted. I didn't want that overhead light. I wanted that kind of warm, almost like there's a fire going.
They had like wall sconces, I felt like. I was like, I like those. I want one of those in my home.
Yeah, and we did want dark furniture. We wanted, earth tones and then it even extends into the costume. So you're doing that first, and then you're talking to the costumer about like, all right, the family's going to be in these colors and the bad guys are going to be in these colors. And it gets planned out at sort of like there's no accidents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no like, oh, we just grabbed these gloves randomly.
Right.
Like no, everything was like chosen specifically, and particularly with the house, all the props, whether it's you'd say like, oh, we're going to have like mugs of tea, and then the props person shows up with like 20 different mugs. Like which is the proper mug for this house and this family? And
I am starting to truly feel terrible about the like 200 movies we've made fun of and all the work that goes into it. Because
we'd be like, what's that outfit?
I'd be like, ugh, that hair tie. That was probably one of 40 hair ties somebody did.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And some poor like schmuck's got to go get 40 of them. And then here we are sitting making fun of it. Oh my God. Katie, we have to write an apology letter.
Okay, we'll write it to all people ever involved with all
of the 90s and 80s movies.
Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
Okay. Wow.
One thing story-wise I want to also just mention with Edgar is he stole what do I call it? Like the numbers is kind of what they keep referencing, but it's really more the data, like the information from it. And he said, I was able to crack the code and I was able to figure out that this can help you see the future. And to do that, you close your eyes and you have to understand, like, to interpret those, like, phosphenes. Yes. Yeah. You have to understand how to do that. But the way he describes it is he says, it's like deja vu backwards. Bridge,
We have the power.
Okay, so we've talked about
So I did think of this. Our mother's unique.
Well, yeah, that's a word.
But we have this thing. So you know when you have deja vu, it's like, oh, I've been here before.
Like this has happened before.
Right? That's a normal thing.
Right.
Like,
Yes.
oh, I've been to this bar before, whatever.
Yeah.
For us, when it happens to us, we're like, we had a dream about it.
Yes, and I
It's a
remember, and I
very
can tell
vivid
you when
dream.
it starts and when it
Yeah.
stops. And
Really?
Yes, and that's
And sometimes
like
you
this
can
movie, I was
predict
like,
it.
whoa, wait a second.
Yeah, sometimes you could be like, oh, I'm in it, and
Yes.
then the thing is going to happen.
Yep.
And so we call it the power.
We do.
Um,
It's weird.
From our mother. We're probably
Wow.
witches. And it serves no purpose. But I feel like if we can harness...
Yeah, I don't think
if we can
No.
harness Edgar's
You know.
power, like maybe we could do something with it.
Maybe we just have to close our eyes more. We're not like harnessing
Ah.
this, you know?
I think we
don't
have
know.
to sit with you, Chris. Help us.
I don't. What kind of help would I recommend?
Mental
Professional.
therapy
So much
and
of
drugs.
It's just a very like cool idea, and I like the direction that it goes in with that, because like, you know, like we talked about, it really weaves all these pieces to the movie together once you understand that that's what's going on with him, and that's kind of what's driving us to get to all these places.
Part two is filled with a certain amount of what I call science fiction gobbledygook, right? A lot of stuff that if you say it fast enough, it sounds like it might make some sense.
Phosphenes,
For example, if we all close our eyes and you press on your eyes, you see stars, you see lights, and the idea that there's some meaning behind that is kind of interesting. I'd never seen it mentioned in a movie before, so I was excited to come up with that. But then the rest of the movie after that is really about, so if all this is true or not true, what's the impact on the people? What's the impact on a family?
Right.
Right. So you use the science fiction to really create a family drama.
Mm-hmm.
So it is science fiction, but to me, it's about the family more than it is about the sci-fi, and the fact that you guys like the characters, and for me, I like the bad guys too. Like I love all my characters.
So scary. Oh God.
Yeah.
Maria's scary. I love Frank, actually. He might be one of my favorites.
He's funny.
He's really funny.
He was really funny.
Yeah, I'll send you guys the blooper reel after this. It's very funny. Yeah.
Oh my God, really? That's so fun.
Well, I remember at your premiere, like he was one of the actors that was
I showed
there.
them, yeah.
And oh my God, I felt like now we have a saying.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious.
Actors get mad.
I'm curious your thoughts on this as like a professional in the business, but we often say actors play themselves. Do you feel Frank was an actor playing himself? Thoughts?
I mean, that's a great question. So honestly, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
The answer is no,
right.
because he's the sweetest, nicest guy on set. He's also the most experienced actor in our film. He's been in some big budget films and played opposite, Jennifer Lawrence and big people. But he's just the nicest, sweetest guy. He's funny in real life, though.
That's what I mean.
And so he's funny in the film.
I know he's like a bad guy,
funny.
But I feel like he was like a gentle, giant, silly man. I'm like, he does punch, a character, but
we wanted to punch him.
He's not the one wielding the knife ever. So I was like, I mean,
yes,
yeah.
I don't know.
So this whole actors play themselves is a strong theory. However, when I've asked my actor friends, they get mad.
Probably mad, right?
And they're like, "You're rude." I'm like, "But what if
I think
you
find aspects of yourself to bring into the character."
She said that's what you do. You pull out like, oh, if you're like angry, maybe just pull that out more for one, and you find like versions of it. Yeah, super, super interesting. It's interesting that he's like funny, because I thought his timing was like great,
really good.
And
in fact, he's so funny that we had to cut some moments of him from the film because he was taking some scenes that were tense and adding like humor, and you'd be like, can't be laughing right now. Like it's like it's too much.
Like that was a good one.
There's some moments where we had to cut back.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wait. So this makes more sense because in my brain I was like, okay, if there's a code, and then stars, where's the flash drive? Where's the computer? Where's this?
Your brain went computer. No.
But you were like, no, get past it to the people part.
Yeah.
Is that like how you were thinking about it all?
Yeah, I mean, I think that if you're spending the rest of the movie thinking about the code and where the data is and all of that, then I've probably lost you. Hopefully it became about the people. And as far as like the story goes, then yeah, Edgar did have code on a computer, but when he realized what the code was capable of, he deleted it so that no one else at the company could then do what he does.
Pandora's box, as they say.
Exactly.
As Frank explains, and everyone makes fun of Frank all the time, and I want everybody to back off Frank because he likes to read, okay? Like, give the guy a break.
Which, oddly enough, that is a rewrite. So in the first draft of the script, it was Edgar who explained what Pandora's box was. Oh. And I realized that I had accidentally written a more cliche Frank, who was a little stupider.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't like that version of Frank. I want Frank to be smarter. Yeah. And so I realized, Frank reads. Frank would know who Pandora is. And so, I had him answer that question.
My fan theory also is that the scene where Frank runs outside to see who fell out the window and then he comes back and he's like, he ran away, he's too fast. My fan theory is he just let him go because he's a sympathetic bad guy. But he made up a story to be like,
I like your fan theory. That's fun.
Like, he was too fast for me, I swear. But he was like, just get out of here.
And he's like, just get out of here.
He's not going to run that far.
I
that's
love Frank. I'd be friends with him, honestly.
He's like, split my pants. Let's make it believable.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get there and I want to jump ahead, but like, you chopped a finger off.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
because
let's get the blood.
So real and scary. And
how do you do that? How do you chop a finger off?
Oh,
1 second.
Oh God, is this the finger?
Do we get
is the finger in a wrapped velvet case?
Oh my God, there's a finger behind you. Oh my God. Can you auction off the finger? I'll pay for that.
Never sell that. You need to keep that forever. That's amazing. Oh my God.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so we knew that we would need, obviously, a prop finger. And my production designer was like, I know this amazing person who can make a mold of his finger and it'll be exact duplicate and you won't be able to tell and it'll only be like $300. And I was like, we don't have $300. Oh. So this is a $12 finger on Etsy.
Amazing.
Etsy.
And,
on Etsy. Amazing.
Yeah, on Etsy. And we painted it, added a little blood and stuff. But it's just, you can buy fingers on Etsy.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah. Wow. Why are they selling those? Never mind.
Shout out that Etsy shop, okay?
Wow, okay. Yeah.
Linda's fingers.
Well, and that part of the movie, it gets real quick. And
I liked it.
We also get the kid character. Does he have a name? No, he's just the kid.
The other
he's just called the kid.
He's the villain. He's the one with the gun bridge. Because
I'll tell you this: I loved that he was like the owner's son, and
I mean, you want to say nepo, baby? Hello,
we all wanted him to get punched.
We all
did.
Great.
We were like, knock him out.
When we were casting the film, my co-producer, who was casting it with me, John's a wonderful actor. In fact, he's just in Song Sung Blue.
Wow.
The movie that's out right now. He plays Eddie Vedder in that film. Oh my gosh. But he said that when he auditioned for us, he used this German word that I don't remember, but it means punchable face. And he said that John, who's the nicest guy on the planet, has a punchable face. And we needed that. I think it's because he's like too good looking. It's like sometimes people are so good looking you just want to.
Yeah.
So we wanted someone that you were, when they got punched, you were happy about it.
That's absolutely exactly it. The chiseled jaw, you're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
How?
And he's nice. He's nice.
Of
yeah.
course.
So.
So he comes in. He's not supposed to come in. Maria was very clear, I feel, and he didn't give a shit. And he was like, I'm not waiting in the car. I'm busting in here. And he uses a helio gun. Did I write that down?
Helios
gun. And it's a very bright light, and we all take a nap. Except for Frank, because I think Frank's smarter than we all think he is.
Covers his eyes.
Yeah. And he then now is like part of the mix. And one of the part of the prediction that Edgar had made was there's 6 of us in a room. So if you're like doing math, you're like, okay, then we get this many people. But then he gets added in there. He's only the 5th, though. So you're like, what are the numbers? But yeah, he's the guy with the knife. And he's like, I'll cut off fingers. That's cool. And I was like, ew, it sucks. It's so scary. Him and Maria. I'm like, I don't know about it. I'm afraid.
I appreciated that he did it because I felt like, I guess Maria could have done it. I think
she would have done it for sure.
But I liked her being like, someone else
do
my work. I'm the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to do the heavy lifting.
No.
Yeah.
And he only loses one finger because we get interrupted, and this is where our 6th person starts kind of coming in the mix, and that's Taylor, because we kept being like, where's Bridget?
Who's upstairs?
Bridget's like, where's Taylor? Where's
up
there?
Taylor? And what's with the noises? But I was like, it's an old creaky house, and then I was like, is this supposed to be like, ooh?
Oh my God, like a haunted house?
I was like, it was freaking Taylor the whole time, trying to like hook up with her boo.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, she's definitely have to dump him. Because that guy just leaves her real quick. Right?
I agree. He couldn't even hang. She's
worse.
like, you're climbing out the window? He's like, I gotta go.
He's like, I'm not part of this family nonsense. Like, yikes.
Yeah, I like her. She did a great job, too. I don't know, how old was that actress?
So she was 14 when we started filming and 15 when we finished. And Athan, that's Carson, who plays Taylor, and then Athan, who plays Cole, who's the teenage boy, he had just turned 16. Because I hate when films have teenagers played by 24-year-olds.
So do we. Thank you for saying
so
that.
I really wanted teenagers. What made it extra challenging is the kissing scene is literally the first scene we shot. And for both of them, it was the first time they'd ever kissed anybody in their lives.
On camera for money.
Makes for an interesting first day.
Okay, but that's their fun fact for the rest of their life. I was going to say,
that's such a fun fact forever.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the, like, tell us something about you, you know? Yeah. That's what I would tell every single time.
Oh, my
What
God.
what I told them, too, on the day was, this is your first screen kiss. It's not your first kiss. So you still get to have a first kiss.
Unless they really like each other and they want it to be.
Unless it really starts getting heavy.
That's the cutest thing. Yeah. That's like, what a sweet thing to say. I will say, I'm going to call Katie out. Katie's a harsh kid critic when it comes to actors.
I am.
And I was thinking about, like, how do you even direct that? Where you're like, okay, kiss. And then you're like,
make out on a bed.
This way and put your arm there.
So we had an intimacy coordinator.
Yes!
And
Sorry, that's just awesome. Thank you for doing that.
So and both of their parents, both of their moms were on set the whole time they were there. So they're in the next room over watching everything on a monitor, but everything gets blocked out. Like dancing choreography. Your hand goes here. You're going to, when you kiss, count to 10 in your head. When you rise up, your hands are going to drop from her shoulders to her thighs, but they're going to go right here. And, it was all very coordinated. And so there was never a point where anyone was like improvising something that they were going to do. Yeah. And the set was, the only people in the room were the people who had to be in the room. And then the second was over, the costumer would run in with bathrobes and making it sound like they're getting naked. No one's ever naked or anything like that.
But that's so appreciated that you, like, it just speaks to your character as not only director, but as a person, because unfortunately there are, filmmakers who don't see a value in that, and it's needed, and especially for kids, like you mentioned.
Well, and you did the right amount of, like, okay, like what, she took her shirt off and she had like a sports bra. I'm like, that tracks for that age, and like call it a day.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you really examine it, it doesn't, like, they both take off some clothing, but they still have other clothes on. Yeah. So it's a way of suggesting that it's getting more serious, it's getting more intimate, without making it an uncomfortable sexual scene to watch. Yes. I didn't want anyone watching that scene being like, "Ooh, this is really sexy." Like, you don't want that feeling watching two teenagers. So you're trying to create the right emotion without making it explicit.
You think that was one of the visions that Edgar saw, and he was like, "I gotta get to the house because like, something's going on there." God. And then we just like,
Dad,
up and other stuff.
Not my future.
Super awkward. Yeah.
But it was kind of like everyone can relate to, like, upstairs,
right?
From
Secret make out somewhere.
And I liked her like angsty, like, where have you been, Dad? And like, you're never around and divorced, and I'm rebelling from the mathletes. And I'm like, okay, I'm believing.
Love
I'm
the
believing.
emo
This
kids,
is the perfect age.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hormones. Like, it's perfect. And then I feel like I just loved that the boyfriend like pieced out. I was like, this is hysterical.
Yeah, when I was writing it, it was I think I might have mentioned this in screenwriting class. Oftentimes we go to cliche ideas first.
Yeah.
And, and a cliche idea would be that the guy is driving all of this forward.
Right.
And I thought it's far more interesting if he's the nervous one and she's driving everything forward. Yep. And so I was really excited by that. And in the end, I don't know that I necessarily planned it, but, realized that the three strongest characters in the film are the three women. That
Chris, we like you.
But that was fun. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Nice to be loved.
But it was fun too, because then when she comes down, you could tell she was scared, but also like, I've never seen anything this exciting in my life.
Sure.
And I do feel like
punk rock is what she
age
said.
was she supposed to be in the film? So you said she was
says
like
15 in the script.
15.
Like high school.
Okay, because I feel like that age is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna be like a wussy little kid, but then you're not also gonna like be crazy lunatic. And so I was just trying to like gauge her toughness.
She was smart too, because she knew like, hey, I was looking around the stair railing and I saw we keep looking at this piece of paper, so I'm just gonna go and take it. It's gonna be mine now. It feels important, and I'm gonna hang on to that. And then she uses it as like, negotiating tactic when she comes to. I also love how when she gets brought down the stairs, she gets pushed,
shoved. Yeah,
and just
I love that too. It's a great shot. She goes flying.
So funny. I'm like, oh damn, Taylor.
I love at the end when if I can love something in my own film. I love that she says to her mom after her mom has saved the day. She says, "Pretty cool, Mom." And if you're a parent of a teenager, being cool to your teenage child is like, this is the highest regard. To be cool, I mean, that's, of course your kid loves you, but like, you thought I was cool?
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And then once Taylor's here, we got our 6 people, and this was part of the prediction, and the prediction was there's 6 people. There's a lot of blood. Susan's blind. I was like, that sucks for Susan, but then it doesn't suck. And then she was dancing around.
Sort of
dancing. And then someone was saying Fredo.
Someone's saying Fredo, and someone's lying on the ground. Someone's asleep on the ground.
So I'm actually really disappointed in myself, because again, I've watched this movie more than once. I don't know why my brain decided to delete the amazing Lord of the Rings reference.
I knew you'd love that.
Awesome.
Upset with myself.
I knew you'd love that.
I was like, because I was trying to remember, like, what is the Fredo? And I was like, as I was watching it this time, I'm like, is that like the guy she's kissing? Like, is his name Fredo? And she's like, Fredo, get in the house. Like, I couldn't remember what that was. And then she says, Dad, you got 9 fingers like Frodo. And I was like,
I knew it. I was waiting for this moment. She's
nice. Excellent.
Gonna reference it.
You gotta reference it.
In my brain, I'm curious if like you thought this way and you're like, no, that's cheesy. Is when it was like she's dancing, in my head I was like, oh, is she gonna like start to dance to be like, hey, like
a distraction.
We're gonna make the future. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if he knows the future, then do they all like act it so that it happens? And then he was like, no,
wait,
you can't. But then I thought, wait, is she? And so I was like, I was like a little lost there.
I feel like this is a little like not like ethical. This is almost like a little philosophical, because that whole idea of fate is, it's like, is it fixed or can it be made? And technically, if you can see the future, you could argue you could make it, which is what Susan did, where she pretended to be blind. She wasn't really blind. She was pretending because she knew she had to. And it's interesting.
You're right on track, because I think if you could predict the future, but you could also change the future, it's too much. It's too powerful. You're a god at that point.
Ooh.
But if you can see the future, but you can't change it, like, do you even want that power? Like, that's a questionable thing,
that's
right?
like Simpsons.
But what Susan it's like The Simpsons, right?
Yeah.
But if you're, what Susan realizes is if this is going to happen, what Edgar's visions of the future are somewhat vague. He has got like a general idea. So, for example, he says someone's sleeping on the floor. Well, they're not sleeping on the floor. They've been knocked out, but it looks like they're sleeping on the floor, right? So you can sort of start to bring about some of the reality of that future to fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen. It's just in what way is it going to happen? And so they sort of take control of it, which is fun.
You said the Twilight Zone was a big inspiration. Is there a specific Twilight episode that's like similar to this kind of theme of like seeing into the future?
Ooh, you're the first person to ask me that. There isn't. It's a great question, though. I mean, I wish I could say, like, yes, episode 27.
Well, there's like also like hundreds of Twilight Zone episodes, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've watched them all so many times. I think it's more about that feeling of unexplainable things are happening to regular people. Yeah. And how do they deal with it?
There is a X-Files episode that is like kind of similar, but it's more about the guy can see people's future deaths. So it's not like the general future, but he's I know how every single person's gonna die. And that sucks. Or does it? Or is it cool?
Hard person to date.
Yeah.
Wow. I truly don't even know how you wrote this, you directed it, and you produced it.
And you picked out the cups that they would drink out of for tea.
I was in charge of the cups. Yeah, I like the cups.
Like, how do you manage all that? Like, don't you want to just like fall over? Or is it fun? Do you get like energy from it and you're like, I want to act too? Like,
wow.
I don't know.
That's a good question. Yeah. Lots of it is fun. There are moments that are like magical and amazing, and you're on set and the actors are bringing your characters to life. And we would have, at some point, the actors would start to tell me what their characters would and wouldn't do, which sounds like a weird argument to have, but it's the best argument to have, because at that point you realize that this character that was invented in my brain is now owned by this other person more than me, which is what you want to have happen. And so moments like that, where they would suggest a line of dialogue or a change in some blocking. Like, for example, at the end of the film, Taylor picks up the Helios gun and threatens Frank with it. And Nili, who plays Susan, said, there's no way I would let my daughter continue to hold the gun. I would take it from her and put her behind me. And I was like, you would, wouldn't you? And like, that's not in the script, but that's the actress going, this is what my character needs to do right now. Yeah. And so moments like that, you get like goosebumps. It's so much fun. But there's other moments that are terrible. So, on day 16 of a 20-day shoot, we show up at the house and there's no electricity.
Damn it.
The whole neighborhood has electricity, just not this house.
Oh.
And we come to find out that the people we rented the house from hadn't paid their electric bill for 2 years, and they owed $4,000.
Oh no. Okay.
And the only way we could get the electricity turned back on was to pay their electric bill. And we realized one of the reasons why they rented the house to us is because they were out of money. So there's moments like that, which is a funny anecdote to tell like right now, and when you're on the film festival circuit. But in the moment when 40 people are standing around waiting to shoot and there's no power, it's terrible. So yeah, I mean, you vacillate very quickly between crazy highs of this is what I always dreamed of doing, and I'm living my best life, to moments of I want this to stop, and I have an ulcer that I've named the Strange Dark. Right? So, yeah.
Oh, I love that!
Wow,
oh, that's great. It was my twin.
It was my twin. Oh my god! It's just it's so impressive, and wow! I mean, you did it. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely I've been doing screenwriting and filmmaking, whether it's shorts or commercials, for a very long time. I had never done a feature. It's been on my bucket list since I was, a teenager. Like, this is the one thing I hope I get to do in my life. And there really wasn't a close second. So to finally get to do it and to have it all work out and be a film that I'm really proud of is special, and something that, I mean, like I've done theater in the past, but theater has a moment in time where it's like it runs for this month and then it's over and then it's a memory. But this film will always be around. And at some point, my grandkids, who I don't have grandkids, but at some point I'll have grandkids and they'll get to see the film. And, that's like really cool. It feels like a bit of a permanent legacy of art.
Oh my God, I love that. Is there any like on the horizon, desire to do another type of feature film? No, the $4,000 was that was traumatizing. I could see that.
Honestly, there isn't anything planned at the moment. Someone would have to come along and be like, I saw your film and I loved it, and I'm also very rich. And
for the rich
I want
listeners.
you to make a sequel. All your rich listeners.
Who are they? Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Are you listening and you're rich?
You guys listen.
Wow.
But there's nothing planned at the moment.
Okay.
Wait, but what do we got? Netflix coming into Jersey, folks?
That's
right?
true.
It's huge. Yeah, it's going to be the largest studio on the East Coast. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It's like down the street from
NJ Films. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's some rich people. Yeah. Am I right?
They should be calling me.
Yeah.
Right?
They've got my number.
Right? Okay. Are you listening, Netflix?
Listen
we always like
better.
to think that.
We do. Sometimes they might be.
Okay, so wait, what's one question that you wish somebody asked you as you promote this, but they never did?
Oh.
And then we'll parrot it back to you as if it was our original thought for you to answer.
Wow. I've never had that question before. What's a question you've never been asked?
That you want to get asked to.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
Wow, you stumped. You're gonna have to edit this part because now I'm stumped.
Too hard of a question. Come on.
Okay, can we get that T-shirt? Can we buy T-shirts? Because
I
want that.
T-shirts. They're not for sale yet.
No.
Maybe some
can you
point
put it
talk
on your
to Netflix.
website? We'll buy it.
Yeah, I should sell T-shirts. You know what? Part of it is we would do Q&As at every film festival, and at some of the film festivals, our film played more than once. So I've seen my film play live probably 100 times.
Wow.
And so I've answered 1,000 questions. Yeah. So now I'm trying to think, like, is there a question that never got asked? I will tell you one of my favorite questions that I got asked. It didn't get asked of me. It got asked of my wife when she was in London, because one of the times we played in London, I couldn't go, but she could go. And someone in London asked her about why Macbeth. Why is she directing Macbeth? And so I love Shakespeare, and I love Macbeth is my favorite Shakespeare play. But also, if you know Macbeth, there's a prophecy in it. The three witches say what's going to happen. And when they say what's going to happen, it's cryptic. They say, when Birnam Wood comes to Dunsinane. And they're like, what, when the forest moves? Mm-hmm. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then later on, you realize the soldiers are using, like, not tree trunks, but like bark to, like, disguise themselves, and they're moving forward. And so I realized that, like, there's a prophecy, just like I had a prophecy in Shakespeare. So I thought, I'll have her teach that. And then also she threatens Maria at the end of the film. She says, blood will have blood, which is also from Macbeth. Mm-hmm. So it all tied together, and it was all very intentional, and it makes me happy to get some Macbeth in there.
So cool.
And so Lord of the Rings.
That's the question.
And Lord of the Rings.
And Lord of the Rings. There they go. They go together.
And
hand
one.
in hand.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know, Katie. I mean, we could talk forever, but we have to. I mean, Chris is tired. He's doing a lot.
This was awesome.
We really have done a lot.
We have to leave you be.
So, Chris, you are still teaching some screenwriting. Do you want to share some of that for the listeners, for all our inspiring future screenwriters out there?
So I still teach screenwriting, and I teach at Farmstead Arts, which is in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. It's this awesome location. It's an art gallery that has art classes and screenwriting and writing classes and pottery classes. And so I teach teens and adults screenwriting there. And it's fall, winter, spring. And so I'm in the middle of my winter classes, and spring classes start in April.
Yeah. And I can attest, it's a great fucking class, okay? Y'all will learn so many things, and it's so fun.
Can we tell our story about
you want
taking
me
a class?
to tell this story?
Yes!
Or you want to tell it?
Do it.
I can tell the story.
Perspective of it, because
you called me out in the best way possible. So, as we've been talking throughout the night, I'm a massive feminist, and I believe in strong female characters, and we're in the first week of class, and I'm talking about when you introduce characters, you want to introduce them with their personality. Who are they? Get to the heart of them. And in the first class, I hand out a couple of sample scripts. And so for years, I'd been handing out this short screenplay that I had written like 15 years earlier that had won some awards. And when it described the male character, it described how clever and funny he was or whatever. And when I described the female character, I talked about how attractive she was. And which you're not supposed to do. And I'd done this a while ago, and like a guy, I hadn't picked up on my own lesson, and I'd been doing this class for years, and suddenly Katie like raises her hand, and she's like, "You supposed to describe the character like this?" And I was like, "No." And I was really, it was like embarrassing a little bit. I'm so sorry. Kind of horrified. And then I immediately, if you remember, I immediately opened up the Strange Dark screenplay and started searching for all my female characters. Like, am I still doing this?
I do remember that because you did it in our class, and then I was like, I think I'm going to get kicked out from this class.
I did it in front of everyone, and I was like, but I was so happy because all of my characters were described by their personality, not by their looks. So I had learned my lesson at some point, and so I've long since, ever since that class, changed that screenplay and adjusted that character's description. Thanks to you. So I appreciate you for keeping me honest.
Do you tell that story in every class? Wow. You're like, this freaking girl, day one, I'm just trying to teach here. And then she goes and she calls to me. To be fair, funny. My memory of it is it wasn't as much of a call out as I do like to approach things from a stance of curiosity. So I believe I asked a question where I said, like, should you be describing like what people look like? Is that something for like casting or whatever? But was my intent?
You probably did say it exactly like that.
Was my intent to be like, why does the lady have to be smiley, sexy?
Who the hell am I taking class from? Yeah, that's what I remember it as.
I gotta tell you, Katie is known for sass. I'm gonna go with you, Chris.
I can only be myself.
Came in hot and sassy. I love that. I love that so much, and I didn't remember that, and now I am, and it's the funniest thing in the world.
It was honestly, I appreciate any time a student is engaged. I really mean that. Like when a student is asking questions and pushing against a teacher, I think, the problem is if a teacher isn't listening and engaging back,
right.
And defending it. And so, yeah, you were 100% right. And, honestly, it made me a better teacher from that moment on.
Well, and your response also, again, like showed me very early on your character. And I was like, all right, I'm in this. And Bridget can speak to it because we would get homework, which some people might be like, oh no, homework. But I was like, hell yeah, homework. And like, I was in it from minute one. I was like, this is the best. I had such a great time doing that class. I feel like I learned so much. It was so inspirational. And just, if you guys are thinking about it, just do it because it was well worth it. One of the best gifts Bridget ever got for me. So
awesome.
I'm like, this is coolest thing.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
before I forget, in case we're getting to the end here, I just want to say thank you for having me on one of your final ever podcasts. Oh. This is amazing. Yeah. I'm really honored to be here at the end and to get to be a part of this legacy.
Yeah, it really helped us class it up at the end.
You did.
You really
That's
did.
True. We're going out with
with more appreciation for props going forward.
This is my
if we take anything away from this, it's props.
Yes.
This was so kind of you. It's so interesting to understand how it all works. It's incredible. I have like a much more appreciation learning about it all. Because I think when you just watch it as normal, you're like, all right, let's judge, let's talk about it.
Yep.
And now I'm like, wow, I couldn't do that. It's like when you make fun of football players and you're like, who am I kidding? I can't even get out of the couch. You know?
Well, Chris, we do like to do a little segment, and if it's too crazy on the spot to do, you can opt out. But Bridget and I do like to relate the movie, in a way where we can express our love for each other. So, Bridge and Chris, if both of you somehow at the same time came to me and started telling me that you could see the future if you closed your eyes, and it was because of phosphemes and the star and
I'm a cryptologist.
And the cryptologist and all of this stuff, and then you predicted a future where I had to be blind, I would hope that I believe you both, and maybe if we went through those same progression events in the movie, I totally would get there. But, I'd pretend to be blind for your guys' predictions. I don't know if I do a good at acting job as Susan,
Katie, I've seen you,
okay,
after a couple drinks, and I just don't know if you would not fall.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The dancing part I would
have
not
faith
do well
in your dancing
probably.
with a knife. But I love you. Well,
love you. Yes.
If some freaking Nepo hitman came to your job and was sassing you up, I would steal that fancy space gun and knock him out.
Okay, good.
For you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And then I think we need to befriend Frank and be like, so we don't like the guy either? Can you just
ew. Just push him.
Put him in the car. I don't know.
Dad's
Lock
the
him
worst.
in there.
Ew.
Yeah.
So you don't have to participate.
You don't
Chris,
have
but
to.
That's how we do that. He's like, no, thank you.
We just.
He's like,
if this comes to pass in the future, I will reach out and make sure that you are safe from the kid.
Oh, thank God.
And your digits are safe.
Oof.
And I will make sure that Frank gets a chance to say hello in person.
Yes.
And we can have a good laugh with Frank.
Thank God.
Oh my God, the
Storytelling.
Frank bloopers.
Okay.
You promised.
That
you
needs-
promised.
The bloopers are coming.
Oh my God,
I'll send over the audio for the recording and the bloopers at the same time.
I love that.
Oh
Well,
my God,
and listeners, if you
Wow.
also love the character Frank and think he is so much smarter than maybe he pretends to be, and that he let that boy run away, and that he didn't stab anybody, don't forget that. I love Frank so much. And if you think that, sometimes the people we love be talking crazy, but maybe we need to listen to them and be open-minded.
They're right. They're right.
Curiosity, not judgment, right? That's how we get there. And if you now have so much more appreciation for set design and prop masters and all the aspects that go into filmmaking that we have never sat ever and thought about, but now we're going to, if you think all that, you should write us a review.
Woo!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. And we're not going to have a website anymore, so just look us up there, and we still will appreciate reviews. Well, we're going to keep our Gmail, sisterswhoseenit@gmail.com. If there's something you don't want to write in a review and you just want me to read it alone, that's weird, but you can do that too. So yeah, we're going to be out there, and you can come revisit this episode whenever your little heart desires and hear all about
love
all the stuff with it. All right,
Chris, can we send you a Sisters Who Seen It swag?
Yeah.
Would you be okay sharing your address?
You have swag? That's so cool.
We do.
We totally do.
I don't have any. I literally don't have any swag. I bought 4 T-shirts for myself, and that's
literally go to this site called Zazzle.
Oh yeah,
where you just
you
upload pictures
stuff.
and they do all of it for you.
Yeah.
It's super easy peasy.
That's true.
But
right.
Yeah.
Cool.
You pick out which one you want, and then we'll send you stuff.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, so big thank you to Chris for coming on here, letting us talk about his awesome movie. And
thank you.
Check it out, y'all. It's streaming, so go check it. It's good. And yeah, go take a screenwriting class if you're in Jersey.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Go watch The Strange Dark.
Yes.
Amazon, Apple.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see y'all next week for our final episode. We'll see you there. Oh no. We're not gonna cry.
Love you.
Bye-bye. I love you.
Bye-bye. I love you.
Bye.
I love you. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.